Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Make America Think Again with Vaughn or Car Conversations. If you've joined us over here on YouTube, if you have not done so yet, please join us over here on YouTube because I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving from some of the sites that have carried the podcast in the past. So join us over here on YouTube. Make America Think, Matawithshanavonn. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for sharing. And most importantly, thank you for taking the information, having conversations, or thinking about it, doing your own due diligence, doing your own homework, and really critically thinking about the information that I'm sharing. That is the purpose of this podcast, is to make America think again. Okay, so a little party never hurt. No, the theme was actually a little party never killed nobody. And I'm talking about the Great Gatsby party that Felon 47 threw for himself and his cronies at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. Big Halloween bash down at Mar-a-Lago, with, scantily clothed women in champagne, big imitation champagne glasses, and roaring 20s, it appeared like theme. And I just find it interesting how so many Christians, devout Christians, engage in the behaviors that they engage in, and still, in church on Sunday, all this business. I find it interesting. So they had this big Roaring 20s Great Gatsby theme party bash on October 31st. And on November 1st is when 42 million people lost their SNAP benefits. Yeah. So on October 31st, Felon 47 and his cronies partied in a Great Gatsby theme with, a little party never killed nobody on their minds, and drank up and were merry. And I'm not downing anybody for having a party. I love a good Halloween party. I love to dress up. So that's not the issue. The issue is you're throwing this lavish $3.5 million Halloween bash on federal tax dollars, by using federal tax dollars, $3.5 million party on our behalf, and at the same time, not funding SNAP benefits for 42 million people, Americans. And let me ask this question. Dear MAGA, how many of you went to the party? How many of you that are always in my comments, how many of you were invited to the party? Did you receive your invite? You've bought the hats, and you bought the shirts, and you probably bought the watch. You probably have, got you some crypto along the way, and you purchased the trading cards. And of course you had to have your Felon 47 Bible. And I think the most recent product is the Felon on a Shelf, I think is what he's pushing for Christmas. And I know you bought all these things since 2015. You've been purchasing all this merchandise. Some of you with your last dollars. So I ask, did you receive an invite to the party? Did you get invited to the lavish party at Mar-a-Lago that you have contributed to, not only out of your tax dollars, not only from your labor, not only from every time that you go in the store to purchase eggs, milk, bread, all the things that y'all complained were too expensive. Every single time you do that, you're contributing to the taxes that they just used to pay for this lavish party, on top of the red hat bullshit y'all been wearing since 2015. the shoes, the t-shirts, the trading cards, the watch, the Bible, the crypto. You spent all your money on these things to support that criminal, that grifter in the White House. And I'd just like to know, did you receive your invite, MAGA, to the party? Were you invited to the party? Because you should have been. You should have been. As much money as you've contributed, why didn't you get an invite, MAGA? If you did, drop it in the comments. Let us know firsthand how the party was. Let us know how you feel like all your dollars that you have committed to this individual paid off because you were invited to the lavish $3.5 million Gatsby themed, a little party, never killed nobody, Halloween bash. Let us know. We'll wait. We'll wait on you to let us know. In the meantime, in between time, 42 million Americans lost their SNAP benefits over the weekend. 65,000 young children are their Head Start program has been, that money's gone as well for the Head Start program. So I don't know if little kids, little children were even able to go to Head Start today. I don't know how that worked out, but 65,000 children across America lost their ability or lost that funding for Head Start programs. Now, here's the thing. For all you people out here making all these videos, go to work, get a job. Stop mooching off of the government. You don't need food stamps. How is the parent, male or female, or both, how are they supposed to go to work or work enough jobs that will make them enough money to not need the SNAP benefits if they don't have the child care, if they don't have Head Start? See, I want to keep pushing all these babies, all these women have babies. We're under birth, or whatever Dr. Oz, whatever term he used. Get out there and have more children, have more babies, but y'all don't want to help take care of them. And you have no solutions or no plans to help parents better take care of them. So I don't blame millennials and Gen Z about pushing off plans to, for a family. I don't blame them one bit. So 65,000 children across America will not be able to take advantage of the Head Start program because those funds are cut as well. And then you also have people who are actually trying to, sign up. It's enrollment time for Obamacare or the ACA, whatever you want to call it to make yourself feel comfortable. It's enrollment time for that. So people are looking at either they won't qualify anymore, this will not be available to them anymore, or if they do have private insurance, their premiums are going to go sky high to where they can't afford it either. And I keep telling you all, they are literally siphoning away all of the life-sustaining programs that people need to just basic survival. You can't survive without food. You cannot. And please tell me, all you people out here who claim to be patriotic, what is patriotic about starving children in your own country? How is that patriotic? How is that being the best or the great America that we can be? To have starving children in America. You tell me, because you're always out here, make America great again, make America great again, and you care nothing about all the foul, ridiculous, inhumane things that are coming out of this administration. That's what I voted for. That's what I voted for. Really? Mr. and Mrs. America? I'm so patriotic. You voted for children to starve? If you did, please let us know up front so we can stop associating with your crazy ass. You also should take note of the fact that the White House now has basically a fortress around it. They have put up very tall fencing. They have put up these barriers to where people can't even get close to, like the last time I was in DC and I went to the White House, the original fencing around the White House, I was able to, because it was after hours, I was able to get close. I was able to get right up to that fencing and to take pictures. You can't do that anymore. You can't even do that anymore. What I have seen and what I've been told is that people have to stand across the street, and there are all these barriers to where you can't even cross the street that's close to the White House. And then you get close to the White House, there's 8-foot, 10-foot fence. So why is it necessary for the White House to become a fortress? It begs the question, what are they preparing for? You also have right now his immediate cabinet members moving on to military bases. The puppy killer, Kristi Noem, the drunken one, Pete Hegseth. I think even little Marco has moved on a military base. Now, why do you think? Oh, Stephen Miller too. He and his partner in life, and they truly seem to be partnered. Every time this woman opens her mouth, they truly seem to be partnered well. They have moved on to a military base as well. So why do you think they feel it's necessary for them to be behind those types of gates? Gates where regular citizens cannot get in. You and I, as regular citizens, we cannot just walk on a military base. Why do you think that's necessary? Why do you think they believe that's necessary for them in this moment in time? Because they weren't there a month ago. They weren't there 2 weeks ago, to my knowledge. Look into that. We should be questioning what are they doing right now, or what is coming up in the very near future, that these people believe that they have to live on a military base. The only place they will be safe is on a military base. Think about it. Think about it. So yeah, so you have the $350 million ballroom. Every time he talks about this ballroom, the price goes up. $350 million ballroom. Now, of course, he did say, and we learned there's some donors for this ballroom, but he says a lot of shit, and a lot of shit is not true, and a lot of shit changes. Just like he wasn't going to touch the structure of the East Wing, but the East Wing is completely gone now. So take whatever, this $350 million coming from donors, take that with a grain of salt, because he just paid for this lavish party with tax dollars, $3.5 million tax dollars to be exact, is what that party cost, that he threw for himself and his cronies in Mar-a-Lago, not the White House, at Mar-a-Lago on Friday. New jets for the puppy killer. They can find money for the new jets for the puppy killer. They got all this money for the icy folks. He's got money. He's remodeling bathrooms, etc. But no money for SNAP. Now, there is money in a contingency plan for SNAP. And this administration, and I believe it's $5 million, this administration can release those emergency funds. But as of right before I started filming this, I believe the response they gave to the judge, because the judge ordered them to release those contingency funds, was that they will look into releasing half of those contingency funds, which are is only $5 million. So that's only going to go so far. And again, you have 42 million Americans that receive SNAP benefits. So what is that half going to do? Because this contingency money, this emergency money, is much less than normally is pumped into SNAP benefits. So yeah, people will have some food. Will it make it the entire month? So what do I believe are some solutions? Actually, let me give you a recap first. Let's recap this before we start talking about solutions. So in just 10 brief months, 22 states, including DC, again, DC does not have statehood, just like Puerto Rico does not have statehood. And that needs to happen the next time that Democrats are in, have the trilogy, have the White House, the House, and then Senate. That needs to happen. Puerto Rico and DC deserve to have statehood. But right now, in a short period of 10 months, 22 states, including the District of Columbia, DC, are already in recession territory. They are already feeling the impacts of a recession. Now, for a state to qualify, they have to have 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. 22 states plus the District of Columbia are already feeling that. They are already in a recession. Farming and manufacturing industries are weak nationally. 42 million Americans as of November 1st lost their ability to access food, and 65,000 children will be kicked off a Head Start program. So not only do the parents now have a food insecurity issue that they have to deal with, that they have to stress out about, they also do not have childcare in order to go to that job that y'all keep telling them they need to go to that job and make enough money to take care of themselves and to get off the food stamps. And also, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give you I have the exact numbers for how much the actual welfare king siphons from this government in contracts. And I'm talking about Elon Musk. I'm going to give you the exact numbers. If any of you are reading Kamala Harris's book, 107 Days, she breaks it down in the book, how much Elon Musk is able to take advantage of these American government subsidies. And that's the bulk of his wealth. But you have people in America that, if things don't change quick, are going to have food insecurity. Americans have been forced into food lines, 10 short months. Americans have been forced into food lines, and Felon 47 regime, they're moving on military bases. I believe that what the goal was, or the goal is starvation compliance. I heard this term over the weekend and it was so fitting. Starvation compliance. They are using Republicans, Felon 47 regime, Heritage Foundation, etc. They are using hunger as leverage to try to make Democrats cave. And here's the thing, folks, if Democrats in Congress continue to cave, we won't have shit. We won't have shit. You won't have health care or food if they cave. Because Democrats are fighting, saying, no, we're not signing anything. We're not opening up the government until you say that the American people will be able to maintain their health care and their premiums won't go sky high to where they're knocked off. That's what's happening here. And the felon in the White House is just saying, well, they just need to, Democrats just need to cave and come to the table. No, no, because they're going to snatch your health care and they're going to snatch your food and as many other life-sustaining programs as they can. That is literally Russell Voigt's job, to kill off all of these programs that are life-sustaining for Americans. That's what he's doing. That's his job. So, starvation compliance, I believe that is what they are doing. I believe that is the goal. And let me say this, a solution that I think would be impactful is for blue states to withhold their federal tax dollars. And I know I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens, because blue states are donor states. Red states survive and live off of blue states. And right now, you don't hear very many Republican governors speaking up for their citizens, even though the majority of people that are receiving SNAP benefits live in red states. But you don't hear a peep out of the governor of Alabama. You don't hear a peep out of the governor of Tennessee, of North Carolina, of Georgia. You don't hear any of these governors speaking up and speaking out in regards to the SNAP benefits that their citizens are losing. So if blue states withhold their federal tax dollars and take care of their SNAP benefits for their citizens, hey, we got to save our money because y'all aren't sending money down the pike, federal government. So we got to keep our money so we can make sure that the Californians, the Illinoisans, like, we got to make sure our people are taken care of. What that will do, in my opinion, is motivate the governors of red states to fight for their people too, because their people are going to bum rush them. When red states aren't receiving the federal tax dollars that come from the blue donor states, and they have to rely on what they have on their own, trust me, it will motivate those governors to take their asses to DC, get in that Oval Office, and have a sit down and a conversation with the felon. But that's the only way that you're going to see it, in my opinion. They need to feel the pressure. The governors of red states need to feel the pressure. So yeah, they have their let them eat cake. This is the let them eat cake moment. A little party never killed nobody moment. And honestly, they don't care. They don't care. That party, the building of this ballroom, all the things that they are managed to find money for, but they don't have money just to help Americans stay alive, maintain health care, access to medications, access to food, access to childcare so they can go and provide for their families. But they got money for planes, they got money for renovations, they got money for ballrooms, they've got money for lavish Gatsby parties. That's our tax dollars they are using, folks. The cockeyed ones got money to use a private jet to go on a date with his fucking girlfriend. He claims that she's some astounding country singing star, but she's opening it up for a wrestling match. And you're taking a government plane for that shit to get laid? I want y'all to think. I want y'all to really think about this moment that we are in. And I want all you people that keep riding this orange individual, this orange heathen's coattails, I want you to really think to yourself, How much money? Go back and look at your bank statements. Go back to 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. And then, y'all, he never stopped campaigning. So you were still showing up to rallies, you were still sending in money. Go back and look at your bank statements, your tax deductions. Go back and look. How much money have you donated to this individual and this MAGA cause? That's supposed to make America great again. That's supposed to make you great again. And then ask yourself, what have I really gotten out of this? Are the cost for things for me, are they really lower? Are the hospitals in my area still open? Do I still have access to health care? Or will I still have access to health care? Or has my health care jumped up $1,000 a month? Some people are seeing significant gaps like that. They've gone from paying $200 to $500 a month to $1,200 a month for just insurance. Will I be able to feed my children? Will my grandchildren be able to eat? Ask yourselves these questions. And then the last question you need to ask yourself after you look over those bank statements and look at how much you've donated, those tax deductions that you've taken, look at how much you have contributed to what's happening right now, how much you are not getting out of it. And then on top of that, you didn't get invited to the party. You did not receive an invite to the Great Gatsby party on Halloween. There were no MAGA folks there, not you who gave up so much of some of you, your life savings, some of you, your retirement, and you weren't even invited to the party. They said to you, let them eat cake too. We don't give a fuck. We got your money, and now we're moving on. Now they are moving on and leaving you to just figure it out.